Hi, good day. It's Ria here again for today's card reading for January 30th, 2016. And again, these are all done with my heart card deck that I developed, and they're just many different hearts, organic in nature. I didn't manipulate them at all. When I was out running, hearts that I would see, and I look at them as little gifts from Mother Earth and messages. And when I was running this morning, I was just thinking how lucky and how blessed I am to be able to express what I have to share through my heart cards. And how I was explaining in a past video in my introduction to heart cards, how like they're just totally just done on the fly when I'm running, and they might seem imperfect, but it's through the imperfection of the cards or of the heart and the imagery that tells the story. And then it made me realize it's like our lives, the hearts are just projections or reflection of ourself. And it's through our imperfections, so-called imperfections, that tell the story, that put us on our path, that help us to discover more fully and to become more fully and to create more fully who we are. And it just made me really realize, like I was just flooded with all this information when I was running, and that everything comes down to interpretation. We are so blessed and we are given so much freedom. And we hear this all the time, but we might not feel the realization of that freedom. But the way that I was kind of like just shown it this morning when I was running is that everything is interpretation. All the card readings people do, every circumstance in our life, it is interpretation. It is up to us how we want to interpret life. And in that is the power. Because any situation, any so-called imperfection, any challenge, all of that gives us an opportunity to place our interpretation. And it is our interpretation that creates an energy frequency to manifest, to give back to us that interpretation. Because all of life is an interpretation of our perception of what we think. And that's how life is created. You could take any situation, take 3 different people, and they might all have 3 different interpretations. Just like any card. I could show a card to 3 different people and say, what do you see in this card? And those 3 people would have 3 different interpretations. And through them interpretations and through their thoughts and through their beliefs, that is the reality that they create. So I just really realized it's like, it's one thing to know something or like to hear it and think you understand it. But sometimes you have those moments where every bit of your being is like infused with the knowledge, like an epiphany, a revelation. And it just really hit me how much freedom and how powerful we really are just through our interpretation, how we interpret things in life, and everything, how everything is interconnected, like the cards, or even some people, the news, how they might interpret it. It might like seem dark and there's so much going on in the world, and people might say, well, how do you interpret that? How do you find the positive in that? But through every imperfection, the other side of that, the challenge of that, overcoming that and getting over that is the complete opposite of what you might have felt. It's the other side of the coin. I love Bashar and his teachings. And I love the way he said, as dark as the dark is, like as you pull back that slingshot, the other side, it will take you that much further into the light. So all the happenings that you see in the world is like all of us going through our own, it's a symbol of us all going through our own individual growth and challenges, and bringing forth, releasing dark-seated stuff within us that has been there forever and ever and ever, and kind of releasing it. And a lot of it is under intense pressure, and it's just all coming out now. And as we overcome that, and as as you can see what's going on, you can say, oh, I see what's going on. It's so terrible. It's so bad. It's so horrible. But you also got to realize the other side of that. And when you get through that, because it's not the destination so much, it's the journey. And as we work through all that, and as us as a whole work through that as a human race, the other side of that, it's going to be nothing but light and beauty and love. You can look at it like everything small scale. What you're going through is reflected in the larger scale as a mass consciousness. Like we've all had our little in comparison to maybe what you see in the world, but still not little, because we are the center of our universe, and how we feel and how we get through things and our interpretation and perception is what creates our journey and what we're going through. But I let me get back to the imperfection. Like, it's all perception and it's all interpretation. Like, you can look at people that may have been might have been born or have been born severely disformed. And they might have had a time where they felt sorry for themselves or they felt like a victim. But they saw something greater within themselves through working through their challenges, through working through their journey, and they had something so great and so inspirational and so beautiful to share with the world and to help other people see beyond their limited perception. So we can't judge we can judge because that's our freedom also, but to judge any sort of life form and to put limitations on it, it's just not truth. Every type of life, every form of life, every so-called imperfection has its beauty and its right. Just like everything in life that we're going through, it might seem terrible and what's going on the news and stuff, but it just gives us the opportunity to get through all that and to get to the other side. And it's just a way that we experience ourselves as individuals and as a human race. But let me get back to the cards. Sorry about that. I just wanted to share because I was just really just overtaken with how much power we really do have through our interpretation of life. And through our interpretation, that's what we create. And I love the cards because they give me a place to focus. Like all of these cards, as I shuffle them and one picks up, it gives me a place to focus as we become, and as we are becoming, and as the earth is shifting to higher consciousness, and as we're becoming higher consciousness, we become more tapped into our multi-dimensionality. We've got all this energy and information coming at us, and sometimes it's hard to share that or convey it or to express that without a little bit of focus on one aspect. And it helps to explain things better when you got all this stuff coming, but you focus on one thing, then your higher self, spirit, consciousness can speak to you. And like I said before, when you improve one little aspect of your life, or you clear one little blockage, or you have one little insight, it's like the sun. You get the sun and it's all like beaming with rays and light, and say the sun, if it gets brighter and all of a sudden it condenses to be double the amount of fire and heat that's on there, it's not going to all spurt out one little ray off the sun. The whole sun and all the rays become brighter. So just like in your life, when you open up one pathway or make a portal or have a new understanding or new more awareness and love and light is shed on you, it doesn't affect just that one subject matter, it affects all. You might have an insight to do something and it brings a lot of joy. Well, it's not only bringing joy to that one thing, like say it fits your work, it's also going to bring light and illumination to all of your life and all the pathways, work, relationships, emotional, physical, everything. And that's why your interpretation of one little thing, if your interpretation of one little challenge or one little thing you see in the world or one little heartache is expanded to find the positive in it, it doesn't only affect that one subject matter, it affects all. And then you're allowing the universe, which is really the multidimensional you, bringing bringing the energy back to you, and bringing and manifesting in your reality that is closest to your heart. Like a lot of people, like including myself in the past, I would like to know more specifics. Like when you go for little readings, you want to say, what should I do? Or when is that money coming? Or when am I going to have a new job? Or when? But what it comes down to is your own individual energy and vibration of the heart. And as you make an opening and clear the blockage of maybe one little path or one little insight, or you have one little inspiration, and you're tapped into that love and alignment to who you are, and becoming more one and conscious of the heart and the heart energy, you automatically are going to bring into your life those desires in your heart, those desires that you didn't even know you had. And it's so much more than one little thing. It'll bring many, many, and much abundance to you. So I will pull a card for today. And this is for, one automatically popped out. I didn't have a time to shuffle. So let's see what it says. This is the card of the day. And it's entitled Magnificent. And the lighting isn't very good in here, so I can't really see it very good. It says, all suffering is caused from forgetting who you are. You are the light of God. Oops, sorry about that. You are the light of God, the light of creation. No mistake can undo your magnificent, but only enhance it. All serves the expansion and evolution of love. You as a human are blessed vehicle in which love experiences itself. That little tangent that I was on earlier, and I didn't pick this card. It just, law of attraction, like attracts like, and this was the card that is kind of going with everything that I just said, and reaffirming that the suffering and everything is simply from forgetting who you are. So when you know that you are empowered and you have the freedom to truly create the life you want through your interpretation and perception, and knowing who you are, and knowing that your heart is one with source, with God, with light, and with love, then that is what you create. When you feel you're powerless and you feel limited, it creates suffering. But that can be alleviated by dissipating the illusion that you are separate from God, because you are nothing, and you are nothing less than the light of God. And the picture itself, just looking at it, it's funny, I can see like a little eyes, nose, and a little mouth in the sand and the snow up above that I haven't seen before. It's almost like, it's like your higher self looking down on you and seeing the little bit of sufferings and the cracks in the heart, and it's like enveloping you, sort of like for me, how I interpret it is the purity and the lightness and the beauty and the innocence and pure, white, meaning purity, and the love kind of surrounding you and encompassing you, and trying to fill those past scars and wounds with the light and the love. And it's not like a sad face, there's like a little smile there, and I can see the little nostrils and the little eyes. And it's like, if you remember who you are and know that, like the dirt or this is the sand. This is from a run when I was on the beach, and obviously it's frozen and it's winter, and it's a frozen block. It's a frozen sand shaped in a heart. It's showing that those hurts and those pains can be filled with the light, and none of it is bad in itself. We, from a higher point of view, chose our paths, and everything is as it should be. For all those, even the suffering, it's for we know more fully who we are, and you don't know who you are unless you've actually been tested. Like, you can say, oh, what good would it be just to know you're perfect and you are God without actually experiencing it? That would take the fun out of it. Like they say, it's about the